CYC is a free channel, presents the Word of God for everyone. Your support will help us to continue the mission. Visit our website, cycnow.com. Even $1 will make a difference.
So we talked about the recommendation letter, we talked about scholarships, the personal statements, the essays. All these things are a part of the application. So now Marina and Joe are going to talk to us about the application, the full application itself.
Okay, so one application we're going to go through is called the Common App. The website is commonapp.org. Not all schools are listed on this Common App, but you can find some of your schools. CUNYs have their own application, and some SUNYs are on this, but not all. So first you would have to create an account, which I used Barbara's. And so you would go through the first personal information. You would fill in your name, your middle name, all the information when you were born, and your sex. Then you would do your address. After that, you would do contact details, where you would put your email, a number that they can reach you at. And then it's demographics. Demographics is what's your religious preference, your background, your ethnicity, what describes you. And then after that, you do your address, geographic. Where are you located? Which all of us are located in the United States, but it depends what state you're in. The languages you speak, your citizenship. And then if you are eligible for a Common App fee waiver, that you can find out through your school. If your school has like a college office, they will let you know if you're eligible for Common App fee waivers, which is something some people may be eligible for. After that, you would fill in family information about your parents, if they're married, if they're separated, if you live with your parents, and then you would put in information about each parent, where your parent went to school, what degree they have, what they work as, a number they can be reached at, just any information that they give you that you need to fill out about your parents. And after you're done with your parents, you go on and fill out about your siblings. So Barbara has 2 siblings, me and my brother, so she had to put where we are in school, what we're studying, the address, the name, when we're going to end school, when we started school, and all this gets taken into consideration when you're doing for financial aid, because the more students that you have with you in the household that go to colleges, the more money you would get, because college is expensive. After that, you would put information about your school, things like what's your counselor, what's the counselor's email, the number they can be reached at, what day you started school. So basically with all these, you would just fill in your testing, the scores that you got, any activities you did extracurricular. All this is personal information that you can put in based on each person. So now we're just going to go to the college search to show you what kind of schools that you can search. So you can put the country, which is United States. After that, you put New York. Or if you want to apply out of New York, you can do outside New York. You can do New Jersey, any other place you want to go to school. And then this will generate a list of all the schools in New York that have the Common App that you can apply on. So we're going to pick Adelphi, just to show you an example. It'll give you the address of Adelphi, their contact information. So when you're giving your teachers the envelopes for the recommendations, you can put this address down, and you put Office of Admissions, and then the address of Adelphi. So here it says application deadlines. We're going to go through the deadlines in detail. There's something called rolling admission. Rolling admission is as you fill in your application and as people are handing in your application, they accept students based on what they get. So if in October only 10 people send in their applications, they'll choose from those 10 people. And as it gets closer to the deadline, more people send in their applications, so it gets harder and more competitive to get chosen. So the earlier you do your applications, the better it is for you. Another way to apply is something called early action. Early action is a great benefit because in early action you get 2 rounds of being accepted. So first you would apply early action deadline, which is December 1st. So if you don't get accepted in the early action pile with the rest of the students, your application automatically gets deferred to the regular admission. So the admission officers look at your application twice. So if you can go ahead and start your applications early and hand it in by this deadline, it'll benefit you so much. Also, early action, you don't find out your decision, like if you got accepted to school in May or in March or wherever the normal applications get accepted, you would find out in like January or December, like during that Christmas break, you would find out what schools you got accepted to. Or if you didn't get accepted, they'll tell you that your application got deferred and you'll find out in March if you got accepted or not. So I recommend early action a lot. I did it. Then there's regular decision where you apply just at regular time, and then you'll get accepted whenever they answer back. And there's something called, there's early action and there's early decision. We just went over what early action is. Early decision is different. Early decision is you say you only have early decision to one school. So let's say I'm dying to go to NYU. I don't know if NYU has it, but let's say I'm dying to go to NYU. I'll say that I want to go to NYU, early decision. That means it's a contract basically with that school. So if I say I want to go to NYU, early decision, and NYU accepts me, I have to go to NYU. There's no other chance I have. And it's a contract that you made with that school. What some schools do that my advisor in college recommended me not to do early decision is they told me sometimes when the schools know that you're dying to go to their school and it's a contract, if they accept you, you have to go, then they don't give you as much financial aid because they know it's a contract already. So if you want to go to NYU and if NYU says all they have to do is say yes, we'll take you, and NYU, let's say it's $40,000 and you get no money, then you're going to end up paying those $40,000 because you have to go to that school. So early decision is something you guys really need to look into, and if you're dying to go to the school, that's something between you and your parents, and you have a lot of options to look at. So Joe's going to talk about his program now.
All right, so before Bishoy talked briefly about the importance of scholarships, and we talked about loans and things like that. So this program, it's a great program. What it does is that the program of the school pays for your whole tuition. So for example, it's called HIAP. It stands for Higher Education Opportunities Program. The name of this program in different schools will be different things, but for most schools it's called HIAP. And so the HIAP program, if you get accepted, it'll pay for nearly all your tuition. For example, in NYU, starting tuition is $48,000 a year. Most HIAP students, they only have to take out one loan for $3,000 each year, right? So you're not paying, and a decent amount of the loans are subsidized so that you're not paying the interest. So after the 4 years, you're paying between $12,000 and $20,000 for an education that costs more than $120,000. So it's a great opportunity. What happens is that if you get into this program, aside from all the extra financial aid they give you, you have two guidance counselors, one for academic and one for like personal life, right? They both hook you up because they have experience in the school and in this program for years. So they know, they're like an older brother or an older sister that can tell you what to do and guide you throughout like the beginning stages of college, because it could be a lot to handle. Right? They also give you financial counseling, so they tell you how to deal with your money in college and how to deal with loans and things like that. Also, this program sets up extra workshops and extra classes that you can go to, you and your other HIAP classmates, you guys go to, you have extra classes so that they could help you do better. So this program, their whole purpose is to make sure that if you get in, you get the best education you can, and they pay for it, right? And they have extra tutors and things like that. But this program is not for everybody. It's a needs-based program, so it's for families of low income, right? And if you go on the HIAP section, I picked, for example, NYU. They'll tell you how many people you have in your household and how much you make. And if you make that much or below that much for a certain amount of people in your family, then you're eligible. And there's also other like requirements, like you need at least a high school diploma or a GED, and you need to be a New York State resident. You need to be a resident of that state to apply for HIAP in that school. So like if you want to do Fordham or NYU or Columbia, you can because they're in New York. But I can't apply to HIAP in like a school in Florida, right? So other than that, there's not much you need to worry about for the requirements. So how to apply to this program? It's the same as applying to the school regularly. You go on the Common App, and towards the end of the application, it'll say, there is this program called HIAP, or another program like it is called C-STEP. And they explain it in like a sentence or two. They say, are you interested in applying to this program? You click yes, and then you're gonna have to answer a couple extra questions, write like 1 or 2 supplement essays that are like 500 words. It's barely anything. And then after that, you have to fill out some extra, something called CSS profile. It's like the FAFSA, but it's a little bit more in depth. So you send all these papers to the school through this program, and if you get accepted into the program, what you do is they're going to send you an email, and you have to pick. They give you a few dates, and you have to pick one to go sit through an information session. It's 20, maybe 30 minutes. Then you get an interview. The interview is very important. If any of you guys do it and do the interview, come talk to me so that I could work you through it so you guys have the best interview possible, right? So you do the interview, it's a short interview, they ask you about yourself and they see if you're a good candidate for their program. Because remember, they want the best people to represent their program, right? So you do the interview, if you get in, and you're paying almost nothing for a really good education. So I highly recommend that everybody goes and sees if they are eligible, and if you are eligible, apply to this program. If you don't get in, you don't get in, but it's not like we said, early decision. This program will almost always be a regular decision. So if you get in, you don't have to go, but if you don't get in, they defer you to the regular NYU admissions office. Thank you for your time.
We can just keep repeating it as many times as you need to hear it, because there's so many steps. So please ask if you don't remember anything. Some of the words that you heard today, like early action, you're going to hear it again, and then you're going to say, oh, somebody said something about that, let me just ask again. So please don't hesitate to ask again. Please ask again. And the second thing is that even though this whole process might seem, from the parents' point of view and from the seniors and juniors' point of view, is that it might seem very intimidating because there's so many steps, so many papers you have to do, so much work that you have to do. I want you to know that everybody has done this. Everybody who's in college has done this process. So it's not like you can't do it. You're going to do it, and you're going to do it very well. And we love you, and we are here to help you. So guys, please, we are invested in your success, in your spiritual success and your success in the world, right? That's what St. John says. He says, beloved, I pray that you prosper in all things just as your soul prospers. So we want you to succeed, and we want you to be the best you can be, and God will help you, and we will help you with the help of God. So before we finish off today, does anybody have any questions?
Private business or part of the shareholder in the corporation, is that effect of the amount for the scholarship?
Okay, so it depends on the scholarship, because some scholarships are designed for people with lower income. Some of them, they ask for your tax returns. So it depends on how your income is structured and how much it is, how long it's persisted for. So all these questions depend on the scholarship, depend on this type of scholarship you're trying to apply for. Because for example, you might find a scholarship that's made for Egyptians. So maybe their focus is Egyptians, not income. But maybe there's another one made for low-income families. So they don't care what your ethnicity is, but they care about the income. Absolutely. But in terms of loans, so for the federal loans, you do have to put your tax returns. So whatever you're filing for your taxes, for your parents, whatever the parents are filing, you have to put that in. So and your tax returns include like income from dividends and all your other like investments, whatever is stated or whatever is filed. So these things all come into one application. So they have to be in the application, yeah. Yeah, because they specifically ask you in the application for public loans, they say, give us line such and such from your tax return. Give us this line from your tax return. You put all of these things in the application, and it has its own formulas and decisions, and it decides how much your expected family contribution is. So how much do they, based on their formulas, see that the family could and should contribute to the student's financing for education, and then they say, okay, given everything you put, this is how much we can lend you. So, and then there's private loans, which are a little different. So, yeah, it's a lot of parts, but okay. Of course.
This is only for academic. There's also academic scholarships. So if your grades are good, apply for academic scholarship. If you're not in low income, then go out and get the academic scholarships. You know, it's not only low income. You can get scholarships because, I mean, like school grades, your son or daughters, if their grade is over 95, or, you know, you have this amount of AP classes or whatever, go out and apply for academic scholarships. It's not, yes, they want, sometimes there's a lot of them, they want academic and they look at it, but if part of the application is telling you it's academic, then just apply. It doesn't hurt if you apply and you don't get it. If you apply for 5 scholarships and you get 1 scholarship, you still got 1 scholarship. So go out and apply for academic scholarships.
Yeah, so there's... The website for scholarship is fastweb.com, fastweb.com. Great, that's another excellent point. So Marina also told us that for each school that you're applying to, they very likely have a section for scholarship programs that they're used to working with. So again, guys, there's no exaggeration. There's thousands of scholarship options based on having, you know, I don't know, blonde hair, good grades, being Egyptian, whatever it is, you will be surprised how many scholarships you can apply for. And then I'm not exaggerating and I'm not joking. The things you will see when you apply, you'll be surprised how many people are willing to give money to you. Yeah.
I noticed also that there's a lot of scholarships that you have to write an essay. And a lot of times this turns a lot of people off. You know, oh, I have to write like 6 essays every school, and every school has a different topic, and I gotta write another essay. Write another essay. You know, there are a lot of scholarships where you have to write an essay. It's academic or whatever, but sometimes they also want to see your writing. And once half the people don't apply just because you have to write an essay, well, that's good, because then that's 50% less competition for that scholarship. So if you have to write an essay for a couple of scholarships, then write an essay.
Anthony, yeah. Yeah. So Anthony's question was about athletic scholarships. So yeah, the same being that there's many options available. Is that your question? Yeah. There are so many. Because there are scholarships that could be offered from the school itself that say, okay, you're an athlete, you're a very good athlete, come and play in our division, and we'll help you fund school. There might be also scholarships that have nothing to do with the school itself, but it's saying for these types of players who do this and that or have done this. Because scholarships mean that I like, you know, people who wear gray shirts. And I want to create a scholarship. So I'm going to give, you know, $5,000. I'm going to create a program, and I'm going to say, oh, anybody who wears gray shirts, they can apply to my scholarship, and I'm going to give them the money. It's not something created by the school. Scholarships in general are created by people who have special interests. Not that they get something back necessarily. Maybe they feel, when they were young, they used to wear a gray shirt, and people used to make fun of them, and now they want to help people who wear gray shirts. So that's it. So they just said, okay, now I'm going to give $5,000 to anyone who wears a gray shirt. It's not true, but yeah, it's true. So, but I hope it's clear. It's just you just have to. Somebody is giving money, and you just have to apply for it and get the money, and that's it. So it's very simple. And writing one essay could mean $1,000. I mean, and it's a lot of money, especially if your parents are working very hard to make that money. If you would have had to work and instead of focusing on your studies, if you were going to borrow that money and have to pay 3 times more over. So just write one essay, 2 essays. and get the scholarship. So usually the way the scholarships work in general, especially the bigger ones, is that there's computers who handle all the administrative stuff. So you type your essay, you save it on your computer, and you upload it to a website. So it's going to accept the essay. It's going to take it into their system, right? But then there's a lot of filters that happen, right, before humans can see it. So maybe it'll check the word count, maybe it'll check spelling, maybe it'll check whatever, because if you're receiving thousands, you don't want to pay lots of people to review every single one. So, but the point is, and then if it finally gets to a human, and it may write in the beginning for the smaller scholarships, but if it finally gets to a human being to review it, then they're going to make a qualitative assessment. They're going to see, is this good quality? And then, does it even meet the requirements that we need? Is this someone we want to give the money to? So, but the general rule is never, with the things that matter in life, don't do it by yourself, right? Have someone else review the essay. There's no exceptions. Even if you're Mary Awadallah who writes perfect essays, like you still need to have someone else review it. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much for your questions, and glory be to God forever. Amen.